January 21st, 2018. You're listening to What's Happening in Cleveland with your host, Kevin Baird.
Brian Baird.
Don Anderson.
And Larry Mack.
Hey, we got a whole team here today on this almost warm, but not really.
Better than was.
Yeah, I know, because we've been in like the fucking freezer for like a month. Except for like one day, it was like 70 or something. We went back down to 30 degrees and cold.
Dude, every time I think it's like really cold here, then I have to go up to Michigan and make deliveries, and then I come back, I'm like, it's not cold here. It's way colder there.
Well, I know, but you can wear like animal hides and stuff there, and people don't mind.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Here, you gotta wear a hoodie, and that's it. It's not fashionable to wear a coat anymore. No, I know. Just kidding. Let's catch up with everybody's week. Brian, tell us about your trip to Michigan. How was your week?
Cold. It was just really cold. You know, as I was just talking to my brother about, I was playing that Van Helsing video game a lot, which I'm enjoying. I'm playing it on Xbox One, which it's sort of, if you're familiar with Diablo, then it was sort of like that. I like some of the cutscenes. There's like one scene where they literally take the piss. I'm playing the third one, so just so you know the timeline, and they literally take the piss out of Wesley Snipes. Like, you find this guy called Daywalker, but he's in jail, and he's trying to talk about, you know, he's like, "You come near me, I'll punch your face." And he's like, "What are you here for?" He's like, "Because I went out and I killed the undead." And the chick that's your ghost companion, who also fights by your side, goes, "No, he's here for tax evasion." I'm like, "Oh, god damn!" You know, they fucking completely didn't fucking, you know, pull any punches with this shit. So there's like a lot of little like stuff like that, if you know that, you know, that genre or whatever. Did I see anything new movie-wise? Thanks for asking. I don't remember. I don't think, if I did, I probably posted it, and I don't really feel like going back and remembering. TV show-wise, I know that Van Damme TV show is supposed to be on. I haven't seen it, but I heard good things about it. Like, it's supposed to be pretty funny, which would be great. You know, I'd like to see something where he's like, you know, something that actually is funny, because the last thing I saw that was a TV show that was supposed to be funny, kind of, was Ash vs. the Living Dead, which is great. Or Evil Dead. Sorry. Ash vs. the Evil Dead, and that's always a lot of fun. But mostly I've been just going to work, coming home, sleeping, going back to work, hanging out with my family, painting little small miniatures, and then playing video games where I'm blowing shit up. And nothing really new. I mean, it's just been kind of just nothing bad, so thank God for that. You know, just a lot of cold, you know, and then just coming back and trying not to freeze. You know, I mean, just the whole time you're just like, please don't start the road, because if my truck shuts off for any more than 15 minutes, there's no heat in the truck whatsoever.
What are you gonna do with all those miniatures when you die? Your kid's just gonna take them and
They're gonna have a big fucking war in my basement, and then they're just gonna burn it all down.
put it down, put it in the trash.
Pretty much,
I'm
yeah.
telling you
Well,
right now, I'm not helping. Move
you're gonna be dead, dude. You're gonna be dead before me.
Probably, but because if you just slide off the road in Michigan and drown in the lake,
It's not like it's gonna.
I'm not gonna lift all those lead figures upstairs and shit.
Yeah, they put them in a great big box, and they had to like carry it out like they would carry like one
Giant
of the
monsters,
Egyptian pharaohs, and a big fucking, you know,
castles, and God knows what else you got.
I was watching that movie. I watched that old movie, The Egyptian, and there's like a scene where like this guy who's supposed to be the pharaoh, but you don't know it. It's like praying to the sun god, and these two mooks are the main characters, come running over, and they're trying to help him out. You know, like, "Oh, we just killed a lion," and the guy's like, "Don't bother me." And then this other guy shows up, and he's like riding around like on top of this giant. And it's not even like just one chair with like 4 or 5 dudes. You know, it's like this fucking mountain. You know, it must have took like 20 fucking guys all holding it up. You know, and they must have been ripped. You know, and he's like, "Arrest them," and I'm like, "That's wealth. That's fucking wealth, right? Fucking. I don't care how rich you are today. That's nothing." Because if you have real money, you've got dudes carrying you around on a litter the size of a fucking, like, Delta 88. I mean, just fucking huge, you know? And this guy just, like, casual, like, yeah, of course they would. You know who I am? Do you know who I am? I'm the guy I know the sun god worshipping guy over there. And he's turned out to be the pharaoh. You know, it's just like, okay, it's kind of weird.
It's weird,
man. And it was actually really, like, it's like an old movie. Don't expect, you know, quality. You know, it's just this crazy fucking movie and shit.
No,
but you know, for its time. And the funny thing is, like, one of the guys in it was also in Demetrius and the Gladiators. And so I'm like looking at this dude. I'm like, okay, he's like in all these old movies. And then there's another movie that I swear to God was like part 2 of Demetrius, The Robe. He was in The Robe. Same guy. And so I looked at the movie. This is old movies. For those of you who haven't seen them before, just fuck off. But The Robe is like about, it's supposed to be like the Robe of Christ or some shit like that. And they all literally take place in the same time period with the same characters, like when Caligula was in charge. And I'm like, is this like part 1 and part 2? Like, I had no idea. So I just thought that was like really interesting if you're looking at like really old flicks.
Okay.
And let me see. Aside from that, I didn't play any more Paranormal Activity because I don't want my heart to stop. I mean, literally, that game, in VR does fuck you up because there's just like a lot of jump shit that comes at you, and little kids running around all giggling. They're like, "Come on, we gotta run! She's coming!" And then she does come, and you're like, "Oh my god!" And then you're trying not to shit, because. You're looking around like, and just, there's no bravery. Like, fuck you, you bitch. No. So, like, if I die, you're trying to run in this VR gear and your head's all swimmy because it's really fucking, like, nauseous. So it's just not a good thing to have happen.
I hear
so,
you. You've got to tell me twice.
Yeah. So that's about it.
I have the Exorcist 3 game.
Exorcist 3 game?
Yeah, it's on PC.
What?
Yeah. Legion.
No.
Chapter 1 is out, yeah.
It's on what is it on?
PC. I mean, it might eventually come up.
Is it VR or
Yeah,
what?
it's VR.
That's insane.
Nope.
That this up right now.
Donnie, how was your week?
I have dreams of a rose falling down a long flight of stairs.
Let me tell you, I haven't had one of these weeks in a while.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Nice.
Might as well go ahead. Let's just say I got to be at court in the morning at 8. So. Well, turns out I'm a bad boy. I was driving to work on Thursday night, and I stopped at the dumpster to throw some trash out, and there was a cop sitting there. And he's a speed trap, He's just sitting there watching speeders and stuff. And so I go in and I throw my trash out, and I get in the car and I go to pull out, and I notice he pulls out right behind me. I'm like, oh.
Using the dumpster?
That's what I was thinking. I was like, is this guy seriously trying to, he's like, this isn't your dumpster. Shut up. But he pulls out, and then I go out, and so I wait for traffic. I go out into the street. He pulls right behind me, and then boom, lights go on. And I'm like, what the hell is going on?
You forgot to genuflect when you went past his car. That was a problem.
I did what?
You forgot to genuflect. You kneel real quick like you do in church.
Right. Yeah, well, see, don't go to church, so that explains that.
Yeah, that's why.
It explains why I don't know how to do it.
You got pulled over.
Yeah. So needless to say, he pulls me over, and I'm like, what the?
And then see, they just got him. They just cut him out.
Yeah, just lost Don again. Wait for Don to come back.
Yeah, climax of the story.
So, there it is. I don't know what's going on.
He's sort of there.
Who knows what's going on? It's a curse.
Come back.
See, I made a church comment because of Brian, and then all of a sudden the computer went.
You knew better.
My armpit's next.
All right, so the cop pulls you over.
So the cop pulls me over, and he's like, "Are you Donald Anderson?" And I said,
for
"Yes,
fuck's
I
sake.
am."
Oh, Jesus, really? Did he?
Yeah. He's like, "Are you Donald Anderson?" I said, "Yes, I am." And he goes, "All right. The reason I pulled you over is because did you know that you have a suspended license?" And I said, "Of course." No.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No. Yeah.
No. If I had a suspended license, I wouldn't have pulled in front of you and parked my car in front of you and gotten out.
That's what he was. I would have run.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I would have just kept going. I just wouldn't have thrown the trash out.
Yeah, it must make it worse. I'll just go ahead and start taking off.
Right, So, he says, "Okay, you got to spend the license." I said, "No, I don't." He goes, "Well, it's according to my records here, according to child support,
Yep.
your license was suspended. Have you not been paying your child support?" And I looked him right in the eyes and I said, "Dude, I just paid $400 3 weeks ago. Like at the end of December after Christmas, I paid my money. And he goes, well, my computer says that, your license is suspended. And I said, okay, well, then what the heck? And he's like, is there anybody that can drive your car home? I don't want to have to tow it. I don't want to have to call a tow truck and get your car towed. And I said, well, I live right here, because I was literally right outside my place. I'm like, I live right here where I crashed my car last year. Oh. Here, I'm right here. I live right here. I can just drive it home if you want to follow me. And he goes, no, I can't let you do that. Huh. If you're driving the vehicle and something happens and you get into an accident and you're not licensed, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, dude, seriously? And he's like, can you call a friend? And it's like, seriously, like it's 500 feet. You're going to make me call somebody.
Should have just had him drive it. Why don't you just drive it over there and walk back?
I don't want no cops driving my car. The police don't want to be in my car. I mean, they probably do, but they don't.
Yeah.
So he goes, can you call somebody? And I was like, well, I guess I'll try. And he goes, okay, I'm just going to go check my information, blah, 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 blah. So he goes in the car. So I call Adam, and Adam's not home, of course. And then I called Holiday. I called Clinton. I'm like, hey, what are you doing? He's like, I'm walking out the door. I got practice at 5. And I'm like, it's 4:07. I was like, can you come over to my place and drive my car home and then come pick me up and take me to work real quick? I just got pulled over, blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah. I'll be on my way. He gets all excited. Yeah, okay. So wait, where are you at? Where you at? It's like, I'm on
That's
Cook
the guy
Road.
you call for help. Oh, my God.
Right, exactly. But he's the closest guy. So, so I'm like, I'm on Cook Road between Barton and Stearns, like right by my place. Okay, are you on the, if I'm coming from Stearns Road, are you going to be on the left side? Are you going to be on the right side? Are you going to, which side? I'm just like, dude, I'm the guy parked in front of a cop car. Okay?
Dude, go to my house. I can see it from here.
If you see red and blue lights, just go to that, because that's where I'm at. That's where I'm going to be. So the cop is behind me. He's looking at me through the window. And then he's like, all right, I'm on my way. So then I, of course, call work. And I got the boss on the phone. I'm like, hey, listen, I think I'm going to be late. And he goes, what do you mean? And I was like, well, I just got pulled over by the cops. And he says that I have to have somebody come drive my car. Looks like I'm in trouble, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, what do you mean? And I was like, hold on a second. I rolled the window down because that's when the cop walked up. And he's like, all right, Mr. Anderson, I just got this to sign. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were on the phone. I was like, I'm calling work to tell him I'm late. He's like, oh, letting him know you're detained. Got it. Okay. I was like, see, there's the proof.
Hey,
like the cop is detaining me. So, so then Holiday shows up, and then he's like, well, what do I do? I go, just get in my car.
You drive my car.
The cop's gonna follow you. You drive to my place. You drop the car off.
And you just stand in the middle of the street.
Well, no, because Holiday's car is
Lonely
there
Man
now.
soundtrack playing.
Oh, so you drive Holiday's car. That makes sense.
I'm not driving anybody's car. I'm not allowed to drive anybody's car. So, I know, right? So the cop's like, you could just sit in his car and wait. I'm like, oh, thanks. Appreciate it. So I sat in Holiday's car. Holiday drove the car back to my place. Cop, he goes to get the cop car. The cop, of course, pats him down. And because, cops don't let anybody in their car without patting them down.
I know. It's just funny.
Right, and that's what I
pulled out a knife.
Because when he left, I called my mom. I was like, hey, Mom, just so you're not freaked out, my car's going to be showing up there without me in it. Everything's cool. I'm all right. Everybody's safe. It's just I'm not allowed to drive that. I'm not allowed to drive anymore. And she's like, oh, here they come right now. And then she's like, oh, my God, he's patting him down. I'm going out there. And I'm like, no, Mom, you're not going out there.
please don't go out there, Mom.
For the love of God.
Do me a favor. She's like, no, I'm going to defend you. And I was like, you don't need to defend me. It's like,
that'd be awesome.
Good. Just let me. I mean, it's like, I appreciate it, of course. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, my mom will stick up for me. Because I told her what it was about. It was about child support and stuff. And she's like, she doesn't need the money. And who's this guy yelling in my ear? Guilty.
I don't know why it's so loud for you.
Even the whisper was loud. Okay, anyway, so I was like, please don't do that. Just let him go. And she's like, oh my God, he's patting him down. And I was like, yeah, because he's getting into a cop car. The cops pat you down. So then they finally come back. And Clint jumps in the car. He's like, hey, thanks. Shakes the guy's hand and stuff. And then the cop walks up to me, and I was like, oh, shit, he's coming to pat me down. I was worried. I was like, why? What am I worried about? But I mean, it's like, why is he's going to pull me out and pat me down or something? And he just comes up. He's like, yeah, you know what? You got court date on Monday. So just take care of that. And just get your stuff together and see what you got. And maybe it's just a mishap, and maybe they'll just let you go. And da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, thanks. Thanks for ruining my day, jerk. And so he left. And Holiday goes, all right, so I got to get you to Cheesecake Factory. And I'm like, yeah, so just go down Barton here. So he goes down Barton. I go, you know what? I got a better idea. Take me to my brother's house, who lives like right there off of Lorraine in North Homestead. And because they were on vacation, they just got back today. I was like, just take me to my brother's house because I'm watching it. And, I got to check on the dogs or whatever. He's like, okay. So he takes me to my brother's house. I jumped out. I'm like, wait here to make sure one of these cars starts. If one of these cars starts, I'm going to take them. And then I'm just going to drive because they're not looking for this car. They're looking for me in my car. So I just blew my spot up. And he's like, I can't. I got to go. And I was like, then just go. Like, I don't care. Just get out of here. So then he took off. I got the keys, started the car, took the car back to my house. I come walking in. I'm like, Mom, everything's cool. And she was all kinds of worried. And I'm like, listen, I'm not worried about it. I mean, yeah, it sucks. And yes, it's my fault. And yes, I did all this. And yes, it's because of all the choices I made. And yes, it's because of blah, 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 blah. Like before anybody can even yell at me, it's like, I'll just throw it all out there. Like, yes, I get it. Right? So turns out I didn't get the suspension letter till January 3rd. And they said it was activated December 29th or something like that. I'm pretty sure I paid my bill before that. So now I'm and then so Friday I had to work during the day and I had to try and call child support. So I'm on the phone with child support. Please hold the line while our operators are busy. Your average wait time is 10 years.
10 days, yeah.
Just oh, come on, I got a table. I got to go back in and take care of my tables and make more money to pay for this bill. And so I never got a hold of child support. So now I got to go into court tomorrow. And they're going to be like, are you guilty or not guilty? And I'm like, well, I'm guilty, but... And they're going to be like, don't care.
Well, they don't.
Right? They're going to be like, if you want to plead your case, you got to plead not guilty. It's like, yeah, but I don't want to come back. I don't want to try to get this over with and get my license back, So I got that going for me. Yeah, so I got to be at court tomorrow at 8 a.m.
So what's going to happen to him, Larry? Because I'm sure you've been through this.
I literally have been pulled over by a cop because I was driving on a suspended license for my for my child support. So as I recall, you will you'll get
no jail time.
No jail time. You'll get a fine.
Hefty fine?
Wasn't bad. Like in my case, the bigger issue for me was they had to tow me, so I had to get it out of impound. But
okay.
I think the fine was maybe a couple $100.
Oh yeah, got that. No problem.
Okay, I don't think it was bad.
Right. So we'll see what happens. I got to go do that. I'm going to take my mom with me. Hopefully, get some sympathy from people. Be like, look, my mom had to drive me in. I've got no friends. Yeah. So other than that,
but that's something to keep in mind. By the way, that's always something I like to point out whenever you hear them say how badly you need to vote for that levy for the police department. Cop A had time to be sitting there waiting for people to speed, and B got so bored doing that he had time to run random plates of people who went by.
Or not even by, just somebody taking their trash out.
Yeah, like, better run his plate. He looks shady.
Yeah, this guy's taking his trash out. I want to see what address he is. Does he live here?
He doesn't want to put it on a curb. He wants to put it in the dumpster. It's probably a body. I better
Yeah.
Better run his
it's
place.
Huh?
What?
What?
Oh, I thought you said. I thought Brian said something.
Okay, is that it then? Is that everything?
Is that everything? Is that
I
it?
mean, I'm pretty sure so much more exciting things happen, but no, that's it.
Larry, how was your week?
Shitty. It was shitty. It was
Pulled
just
over no
shitty.
license, shitty.
Like,
I know Tuesday you were telling us that you had a hard day at work.
like having to vomit blood in between meetings, but then still get back into the meeting. Shitty.
Oh, okay.
Though, aren't you?
Yeah, I'd rather have no license.
So this week, well, the last 2 weeks really. So we have this gigantic project going on at work, and I'm like the risk officer for it. And this thing has been in flight for like 3 years. And a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, they like basically changed their mind on what the deliverable I was responsible for was. And I was like, well, shit, the thing was going on for like over 2 years before I got here. The entire time I've been here, I've been working on this. And now you want something completely different? Yes. Well, what do you want that by? January 19th. I was like, well, that's 2 weeks. They're like, yes, it is. I was like, oh, okay. It's going to suck, but what do we got to do here? Well, you need to meet with the functional unit, blah, 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 blah. So to give you some, give you a little bit of color. So this week we, of course, had Monday off because it's a bank holiday. I was still working. Overtime on Monday, even though it's not overtime and it's a holiday, so I was still doing my 12 hours. All week long is just back-to-back-to-back meetings because in 4 days, Megan, who we all know, and I basically had to meet with 12 functional units throughout the bank to try and assess their risks on some like multi-million-dollar project and assess something like 1,400 risk controls and get all that documented.
Sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
My favorite part.
So like today, I think I got up about 7 o'clock this morning, and I sat down at my laptop and started trying to put it all into the final form. Had meetings today and yesterday, by the way, because like my boss's boss's, this is his hot button item. And I am still sitting at my laptop, kind of multitasking while I talk to you guys, because it's still nowhere near done. And they graciously said, you know what? Obviously no one's going to look at it over the weekend, so don't worry about the Friday deadline. Just get it submitted by Sunday. Okay.
Hey, that's today.
I know.
Oh.
Yeah, speaking of Sunday.
I still don't know what you do. But I'm glad whatever that is for is going to be fixed for whatever.
Yeah, so I got that. Yeah.
However that's going to happen.
How that works.
And that was pretty much my week. Like, let's see. Oh, we did win trivia, which I probably should have skipped, really. But I was like, screw that. I am getting out from behind my laptop, and I am doing something because I'm going to murder people in a minute. That was it this week.
Okay. Yeah, so we won trivia. Lauren joined us, I guess. That's her name, right? And,
That is her name.
and she had a couple answers that we do what we do. We completely ignored her correct answers and write down our wrong ones, which is always good. Always good for the team. Teamwork. And I went to that Tom and Cheese place, which is like a place that sells grilled cheese and tomato soup. And, it's okay. It tastes pretty good, but it's not a meal. It's just not. I don't know what it is exactly. It's just not a meal. It's like a snack. It's like an overpriced snack. Kind of get a grilled cheese for like $7 and a cup of soup for like $4. And it's like, nah. Still hungry afterwards. Just gonna go to McDonald's, get something else. It's just bread and cheese. It's just not gonna do it for me. And then I went to Red Lobster yesterday. and ate that.
Best biscuits ever.
Cheddar biscuits, yeah. But you gotta order food. Like, you can't ask for the biscuits ahead of time. Like, are you gonna order? Yeah, we're gonna order food. We're not just here to eat the biscuits. I mean, we would. You guys would let us, but just eat the biscuits all day. They have some new tasting things, so it's like a free thing. It was kind of gross. There's these clam strips over clam chowder. I mean, it was okay.
It's like clam strips.
It wasn't that great. And then today I went to Grand Fiesta, which is Mexican. Got some Mexican food. How am I telling you about all the places I went to eat? Because that's all I do. That's all I got going on. Grocery shopping. Yeah.
I do my grocery shopping tomorrow. I'm off. I'll do it on Monday. It's like, you'd think there's nobody there, but there's people. Getting on my fucking nerves as quickly as humanly possible. They're like, oh, look, Barrett's here. Let's get him.
Okay.
It's not true.
That's really it. Okay, let's do our drinking game. If you haven't played the game before, basically we're going to read off the local news, and if it involved a shooting, you have to drink. If it happened on the east side of Cleveland, or in that vicinity, you have to drink. And if Jennifer Cha-Cha's name is used as anywhere in the story, you have to drink. This week I am drinking Diet Dr. Pops from Giant Eagle.
Nice.
It is a gluten-free soda.
Oh,
because that's important to us.
According to the bottle, there's no gluten in my soda.
Do you know what a gluten is?
I do. But I did look at my milk carton, and it says contains milk on it, which I'm happy about because
usually
you can never be too sure. Just because it says the word milk on it, I also needed the thing underneath that says contains milk. Weird. It's weird what's going on with our country and the weird fucking laws we have. But okay. Here we go.
Yeah.
Alliance, Ohio. Alliance police have sent a warning to other area law enforcement agencies after the skin on a man's arms was eaten away. Possibly as a result of injecting a new heroin combination. Graphic pictures obtained by News 5 show black marks and skin peeled off both arms of a 25-year-old man. It's very, very disturbing, said Alliance Police Sergeant Michael Yerian. Narcotics officers said they arrested a heroin addict last week and noticed the horrific injuries. He told officers he bought heroin laced with Rizzy powder in Canton and injected it into his arms. This always sounds like a good idea. A website provides the following description of Rizzy. Rizzy powder is a flour centerpiece maker. For white flour centerpiece, add half teaspoon to water in vase. Cut the end off of a flower so that it has a fresh surface. Allow
that stuff.
Several hours for Rizzy to be incorporated into the petals of the flower. It also includes a disclaimer: toxic, do not ingest. Hey man, let's inject this in our arms.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We're not stupid. We're not putting it in our fingers.
If heroin was laced with the powder, Yerian fears it could become the latest dangerous drug trend. Yeah, because all drug addicts, what they really want to do is inject themselves with necrosis. That's what they want. All right, who's watching TV? Very loud.
No one.
Don't lie. It's loud.
How is it even possible that you could hear anything over that racket?
I know, right?
It's loud to you guys, but it's super
I
quiet.
heard both.
And you can even see on the Google my when the music's playing, my green light doesn't even go up.
It's true.
So I don't know why you guys hear it so loud, but I can totally hear your television. And so can everybody else. We all know what you're watching.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Gay shows.
Gay shows. Shows of gays.
Lots of gay things going on the
men with their
on
shirts
those
off.
shows, buddy.
Oh, hanging out with Holiday. Just gonna sit around in my shorts with no shirt on.
Well, why wouldn't you?
Turn that TV down, goddammit. Please.
I don't hear it.
I don't.
I'm not listening. I'm just saying I don't hear it.
Whoever's
So
doing it, Larry. I know you're doing it. Turn it down. You don't need to know who won the Patriots game. We all know.
Who?
Cleveland.
What? Oh.
We're not used to seeing much crime in the dead of winter. The cold weather should be keeping criminals in check. Only News 5 has been digging into why this winter is different and why criminals are targeting a specific type of community. They're called fringe neighborhoods.
Oh,
People living in communities around the edges.
They live in the fringes of our society.
Limits.
Yeah, they are.
Traditionally, these are quieter parts of town, but now the people who live here are living in fear. Home windows riddled with bullet holes. They're the images that often spark new rounds of violence on the streets of Cleveland. Quote, "We have boots on the ground to stop it from escalating," said Jeffrey Crosby, Cleveland Peacemakers Alliance. "We just pulled over Don Anderson, got him on a bad child support thing, so we're doing our job." On most days, when classes at Collinwood High School end, you will find a handful of ambassadors from the Cleveland Peacemakers Alliance mingling among a sea of students, working to build relationships and prevent retaliation. Hey, baby, let me get that number. How you doing? You know, what are these guys doing out there? Jeffrey Crosby, a violence interrupter, is busy these days. Violence interrupter. That's the guy's title. That's awesome. He just jumps into violence all the time. Oh, let me interrupt you right here. I'm just going to
interrupt your violence real quick.
I'm a violent interrupter.
Let's just talk about how you just stabbed him with that knife.
That sounds metal as fuck.
Crosby and his team focused their efforts on hot spots, which this week was Pawnee Avenue on the Cleveland-Euclid border. The North Collinwood neighborhood was scene of a string of shootings as gang activity in the city escalates. Right now, there's beefs going on throughout the city, not just Pawnee. Throughout the city, there's a lot of conflicts going on, said Crosby.
Colors.
Those conflicts bring new safety risks to parts of town not used to seeing lots of violence. These areas are being descended upon by a criminal element, said Mike Polensky, Cleveland City Councilman. Everybody in Cleveland sounds the same about it. Polensky is talking about fringe areas of the city which historically have low crime rates. The silence of those relatively safe neighborhoods shattered by gunshots. Anyway, I'm just going to move on. You follow
out of all the
no drought killings. Larry, you drinking anything right now? Larry's not even here anymore.
Just quit.
He was insulted by the television comment.
He's got us on him. He's got us on like mute. Don't watch television. Type to his friends. Euclid, Ohio. For 14 years, Mr. Frank McCuga has brought huge smiles to the faces of kids and parents in Northeast Ohio. This is a good story. I thought I'd put one in.
Is it?
It's one good story. I guess. It's a little weird, though. The 80-year-old is currently the crossing guard at Bluestone Elementary in Euclid.
Creep.
A position he's proudly held for the last 6 years. Before his time as a crossing guard, Mr. Frank was a school teacher for 44 years. Each morning and afternoon, cars, semi-trucks, and school buses drive by and wave, many of them honking to say hi to Mr. Frank as he stands on East 260th Street. I'm sure they're saying hi. Oh, fuck away.
Yeah, give him the finger.
And he doesn't bring the cheer alone. He does it with the help of dozens of puppets, all donated to him by his fans.
What?
There's a
These
cavalier,
are stuffed children.
a sloth, an elephant, and a lamb, just to name a few.
Lamb chop.
This sounds like trouble.
To me, that's worth getting up in the morning, Mr. Frank said about the kids he encounters every morning and afternoon. It makes your day. And turns out he's making everyone else's day. His enthusiasm is infectious, said one teacher. It just spreads. It makes them smile. It's a good way to start your day. That's why Mr. Frank's been nominated to be America's favorite crossing guard. In an online contest currently alternating between taking the lead and coming in second place. He's the online Ohio nominee with more than 4,000 votes at last check. Voting runs until January 31st. People can cast a ballot once a day. The winner receives a $500 grant for their school and several.
Is it going to be like
prizes.
it'll be like in when we're voting for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? They'll be like, no, come on. There's more people that got to vote, right? I mean, just not Cleveland. So they made him do it again.
Got a
was the one.
Get out of here, old man. Damn puppy.
Your fucking toys.
You're not helping the
This
kids
guy
cross
in
the street.
Columbus wants to get killed by a firing squad. No, I don't know.
Sounds pretty good.
The court's gonna determine that. Stark County, Ohio. A 38-year-old woman has been charged in connection to shooting a man Friday evening. Drink. Larry, what are you drinking?
Anything.
Great Lakes Christmas Ale.
Oh, still?
Last one I have.
Remember not to bring a whole case over. Probably still see that shit.
Well, no, actually,
God damn it, Kevin.
your case is gone. I picked up some.
Angela Webb is facing a charge of attempted murder in the shooting that happened just after 5:30 p.m. on Hudson Drive Southwest. According to a news release from the Stark County Sheriff's Office, deputies found a 45-year-old man with a gunshot wound. He was taken to a local hospital where he is in critical condition.
Murder was the case that gained me.
Damn.
A man
Now we lost
is
Kevin.
in Chagrin Falls.
Warning shot was a hit.
Chagrin Falls. Is that where Larry lives? No, you're in Coyote.
I'm in Cuyahoga Falls.
A man alerted police at 2:28 p.m. January 13th to strange activity in a neighbor's house, where his daughter is pet sitting. Beer bottles and wet footprints were found when no one should have been there. A housekeeper cleaned up the mess, and nothing appeared out of place. I don't know, Dad. I don't know whose beer that is or whose wet footprints those are. I honestly,
Sasquatch.
I was just here watching the animals.
I'm afraid for my life.
That's all I was doing. Mm-hmm. I'm calling the cops. I believe my daughter. Yeah. Okay.
That dude's the only one.
This one is in Cleveland Heights. At 11:05 a.m., January 11th, a woman walked to the police station to report that her car had been stolen earlier that morning from her apartment lot. The woman said that a male acquaintance and his female cousin dropped by at midnight to say hello.
Hello.
During the visit, the man said, if any of you guys come over to my house at midnight to say hello, I'm telling you, all right, I'm asleep.
You won't even answer the door.
Usually, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, you'll just throw open the door and let Apollo tell us to leave.
Apollo will be very upset.
Yeah, Apollo bites hard. Not even a question.
During the visit, the male said he was selling his share in a local business and relocating that morning to West Virginia. At 4 a.m., I don't know. It's just-
Who doesn't conduct business meetings at somebody's front door in the middle of the night?
Yeah, and then it says at 4 a.m., the woman gave the man her keys. Well, it was a long conversation they were having.
Yeah, that sounds spectacularly dumb.
Well, it's a long business plan.
And asked the man to go to her car and get from it her cigarettes. The man's cousin went with
Go
him,
get
and
your
the
cigarettes.
two drove off in the
Okay.
woman's car.
Yeah.
Later in the morning, the woman called the man's father at their family business. The father said that his son was fired and is a drug addict. The car has yet to be located.
Might have want to make that call first.
Yeah, right. Maybe you should have got your cigarettes yourself. Man. It's so weird. Oh well. In Ohio, a 39-year-old man and a 15-year-old boy are charged in connection with a deadly home invasion in which he and another man barged into a suspected marijuana dealer's home and killed the dealer as he sold drugs.
As he was selling them.
Way too many TV shows.
Juan
It's like handing him
Delgado
over.
is charged with aggravated murder in the January 7th death of James Dowell. Delgado is in the Cleveland City Jail awaiting his first court appearance. A 15-year-old boy is also charged with aggravated murder in connection with the case. He is being held in the Cuyahoga County Juvenile Detention Center, which apparently is a wreck. The co-defendant, Wilfredo Garcia Rodriguez, 39, is also charged with aggravated murder in the plot to rob Dowell. The shooting, happened about 11:30 p.m. at Dowell's home on West 52nd Street between Cuba and Field Avenues in the city's Stockyards neighborhood. The 15-year-old boy set up a drug buy at Dowell's house, police say. Dowell and a woman were home alone with the teen. It says with, but I think they meant when. When the teen showed up to buy the drugs, police said. Delgado and Garcia Rodriguez stormed through the back door with handguns about the same time, police said. The men were attempting to rob Dowell. Garcia Rodriguez and Delgado tried to bind Dowell with duct tape, but a fight broke out and one of them shot Dowell, police said. The woman told police that she hid during the confrontation.
How strange.
I think we read that before, but it was different.
I mean, wouldn't you be hiding?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Well, I mean,
No, Brian.
a lot of, I mean, I don't know. Like, if you're going to rob a drug dealer, wouldn't you go after the guy that makes a lot of money? Like, how much money are you getting from weed?
Right.
Like, weed guy.
You know, none.
not a lot. I mean, you know, unless he's like some volume guy or something. Like,
Right. Unless you're somebody doing pounds, you're not making anything.
doesn't make a lot of sense. Especially if you're going to murder somebody over. Cleveland, Ohio. Prosecutors and defense lawyers traded jabs and closing arguments in the trial of a Michigan man who faces the death penalty. What?
Sorry, real quick. I just knew that information because of a friend of mine.
Yeah.
By the way.
Absolutely.
Sorry. Just wanted to throw that out there.
A Michigan man who faces the death penalty if convicted of killing two men in a 2016 home invasion robbery at a downtown apartment. Jurors began deliberations shortly after closing arguments Friday in the case that accuses James Johnson of killing his longtime friend Rashad Bandy and Brandon James at a West 9th Street apartment in January 2016. Cuyahoga County Common Pleas Judge Kathleen Satula ordered the jury to deliberate late into Friday night if necessary. Yeah, I'm sure that's what all the jurors wanted to do. They're like, well, the judge says we can sit here and debate all night on Friday night. Fuck that, man. I'm going home, you know?
Right?
Yeah, no shit.
You fucking assholes figure this shit out. I'm out of here. You can't leave, sir. You're stuck in the thing until the judge says you can go. Well, when is that going to be? Well, she's left for the evening, so I'm apparently not until morning.
He's okay. Fine, he's guilty. Really? Because we all think he's innocent. He's innocent. Let's go.
Yeah, right. But I got to write down this piece of paper. What do you think? Yeah, just write it down. Just write it. Whatever you want. Whatever you guys want. Let me out of here. Can't eat fucking Jimmy John's another day. Johnson burst into Bandy's apartment and fired 3 shots. Drink. 1 into a wall, and 1 into James's back, and 1 into the back of Bandy's head as he begged for his life, prosecutors told jurors. Defense attorneys maintained that prosecutors did not prove Johnson's guilt. They put forth the theory that Bandy and James were drug dealers who ripped off the assailants prior to the attack, and the assailants simply came to the apartment to reclaim their property. I'm not reading the whole thing. It's too long. You don't know when I open these things, like if they're going to be short ones or like, you know, the Gospel according to Cleveland friggin' thing. 70 pages. Akron, Ohio. An Akron Public Schools board member was found unconscious as a result of a suspected fentanyl overdose in his SUV Thursday afternoon.
Oh, you'll have that.
Yeah, that's good. School board member.
Yeah. Yes.
We got to get these drugs out of our school.
Yeah, we're all over it.
Get them out of the school and into your system.
Died like Tom Petty, right?
Out of the school system.
John Otterman faces a drug possession charge after Akron police also recovered marijuana from his SUV. Officers received a call on a report about 4 p.m. of someone down and found Otterman in the front driver's seat of a Ford Escape on East Cuyahoga Falls Avenue near North Howard Street. How does a guy like that, like, keep going? You know, is on school board and stuff. And then you got a guy like Kanye who's like, you know, completely healthy guy, just died.
Stroked out.
Yeah, just died instantly in his truck for no reason. That we know of. Larry might know some secrets. He's not going to talk. Akron, Ohio. An Akron man was sentenced to 15 years in prison for shooting his ex-girlfriend. Drake.
Good for him.
When he went to her home to pick up some belongings after their breakup. Probably not good to bring a gun with you to your girlfriend's house.
Yeah, that sounds sort of like it was
I mean, I guess that sounds premeditated.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because if you get into an argument, things get heated.
Well, no, like maybe he was just going over there to like get back some of his stuff, like
he wanted
his
to get back something,
and like he just knew bitch was crazy, so he figured I gotta take some protection for my own self.
Maybe. guess we had some guys there that were going to keep his, like, figurines or something. Vester Morrison pleaded guilty December 6th to attempted murder and having a weapon under disability in the July 8th shooting of 48-year-old Cassania Tony, according to a news release from the Summit County Prosecutor's Office. I guess that's a drink. Did I say this one was a drink yet? Well, it's a drink. Morrison went to his ex-girlfriend's home to pick up some of his belongings. She waited in her car when Morrison fired several shots that struck her in the neck and chest, prosecutors said. That's weird. Detectives identified him as a suspect and discovered he was staying at a house on Kelly Avenue near Markle Street. Officers went to the home the next day, and Morrison refused to come outside. Nope, I'm not coming out. You're under arrest. I'm not doing it.
Can't get me, coppers.
A SWAT team was called, and the negotiator convinced Morrison to surrender after a 2-hour standoff. Okay. Well, for 15 years he's going to be away, so he'll get out in 5 and then shoot somebody else. Akron, Ohio. No suspects have been identified in a shooting Thursday in Akron's Goodyear Heights neighborhood that left a man with serious injuries, police said. 28-year-old man suffered gunshot wounds in the face, chest, and arms just before 10 p.m. on Keck Street near Bethany Avenue, according to a police report. Akron Fire Department paramedics took him to Summa Akron City Hospital, where he remained in serious condition Friday morning. I guess it's a little bit warmer in Akron, so there's more killings there at this time.
Right. Yeah. Blood's flowing.
The man told investigators that he did not know who shot him.
Literally.
It says. Officers were investigating a report of shots fired when they found the man seated on a porch outside a house on Bethany Avenue. They followed a trail of blood from him to his house on Keck Street, the report says. Hey, look at this. There's a trail of blood. Let's follow it. Goes up this driveway. Huh. Looks like it goes right up to the door. This must be his house. Yeah, we got his driver's license. This is his house, dude. Huh. Officers found a handgun in the man's lap and small bags of marijuana and methamphetamine in his pockets, the report says. The gun and the drugs were seized as evidence. Investigators have not said whether the man will face any charges. That's interesting they had a gun on him, because I'm amazed the cops didn't just drive right in front of him, jump out, and shoot him. Because that's generally what they do around.
Yeah, really, why do they need a gun?
I mean,
why do they need a reason?
Just if you're sitting there, yeah. A Cleveland man, from Cleveland, was identified as the victim in a deadly Wednesday shooting. Drink. In the city's Union Miles Park neighborhood. I believe that's also a drink. Robert Peacock, 25, died in Metro Health following the shooting that happened about 8 p.m. on East 110th Street and Miles Avenue, according to police and the Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner's Office. Peacock was found unresponsive in the driver's seat of a vehicle near a cemetery at the end of a dead-end street, police said. Officers learned there was some type of disturbance prior to the shooting. Witnesses reported, was there zombies coming out of the graveyard or something? Oh my God, run! Witnesses reported hearing gunshots. You're not taking me! I'm gonna kill myself first.
Don't eat me, please.
Most people in Parma are zombies anyways.
And seeing 2 unidentified males run away from the vehicle in which Peacock was found, police said. Peacock was pronounced dead at the hospital. Police haven't announced any arrests and no charges have been filed. I would think
He said Peacock.
somebody was watching that, they would have just filmed it. Everybody films everything these days. Take a selfie with it.
That's where the Mr. Chicken's at. Oh, sorry.
Mr. Chicken.
I'm watching the video of old Parma.
Mr. Chicken.
Oh, that on the
Gobble,
stream
gobble,
right now,
gobble.
Yeah.
Crazy old cars.
Yeah. That's that Pearl and Ridge Road intersection right there. No, never mind. It looks
Every
like Larry
car
now.
has like the same paint job, black. Like there was just nobody thought in those days, like we could paint our cars or put a sticker on it or something. No, it's black. Make them all black. Bunch of Amish. Barberton, Ohio. Barberton police say
Full of
3
barbers.
people were shot and drink. You could technically drink 3 times. 3 people were shot. No. And injured outside of a daycare center in the 300 block of Worcester Road North late Saturday. In a press release, Barberton Police Public Information Officer Marty Eberhart said officers were called to the scene just after 9 p.m. Sounds like a good time to be hanging out at daycare. Police found
with a gun.
It doesn't sound sketchy at all, right?
Police found the 3 victims with gunshot wounds, and they were transported to local hospitals. Their conditions are unknown, and no names have been released. Police did not say if a suspect was arrested and did not give a description of the suspect. It's good reporting, Cleveland Night.
Well, what are they going to say he is,
Police are actively investigating. Well, we should hope so. Should hope they're doing
We asked for peace!
Oh, Jesus. Some of these have audio that just starts when I click on it. Downtown Cleveland, Ohio. Thousands of people were at Public Square for the Cleveland Women's March on Saturday.
Yeah, real genius, freezing their asses off.
First 90 minutes of the event on Saturday, speakers shared their views and values at Public Square. The theme of the march this year is Power to the Polls.
Like the Polish.
Why do we want Polish people doing stuff?
Stripper. They're not. It's a group of women. They're obviously talking about stripper poles.
Yeah. You know what? I support that. If they would like to have a follow-up march, I will also bring some polls for them.
Yeah.
They can show their power.
Speakers encouraged everyone at the event to make sure their voice is heard. People at the event were advised to get out and vote.
Get out.
Midterms aren't for another year, but let's get together now and remind you to vote.
Yeah, in January. What are they thinking?
I'd vote until November, but just remember this for the whole year. Cleveland City Councilman said people should reach out and talk to local government officials to help make a change. That sounds almost like, if you people want anything, just call me.
I got nothing going on.
If you want things to be done, I won't talk to you if you call, but just call. First chant of the march was, quote, "We are unstoppable. Another world is possible."
Yeah, we are sick.
That's not catchy. That's way too... No. That... What kind of chant is that?
Larry does not like the chant.
Not even a little.
Yeah, like if you need index cards to remember the chant, it's not a good chant.
Donald Trump has to go was another chant shouted during the march. That's a
Go where?
I'll be, while they were outside freezing their asses off, I was enjoying turning up the heat in my house because I can pay my gas bill because I got my new Trump tax bill money. So,
Chrissy Stonebreaker Martinez, who was a speaker,
I'm sure she's all about breaking some stones.
Was a speaker at the march, said voting and marching is just the first step. Last year, a massive estimated crowd of 500,000 took their message to the streets of Washington, D.C. to bring awareness to issues of legislation and policies regarding human rights, including women's rights, immigration reform, healthcare reform, reproductive rights, and the natural environment. 7,000 whole people attended the marching Cleveland.
Well, that was the first step. I don't suppose that the second step will be making tasty sandwiches.
I'm all for women going out there and doing stuff, but I agree with what Sarah said, where there's too many of these fringe groups that just take control of these things and make it all about them. You lose sight of that it's just supposed to be about women empowerment, not whatever political agenda these different groups have. But what are you gonna do? That's what happens.
I'll tell you what you're gonna do. You're gonna get them back in the kitchen, making tasty sandwiches like God intended.
We hunt, we gather, they cook.
So why did the Oklahoma City Thunder score 148 points against Cavs?
Because we have a team of dudes who take it as like a diss if someone asks them to play some defense. Like, we had a coach who was like, no, you guys need to play better defense. We have so many great scorers. We can be killing people if you guys play defense. And they were like, fuck you.
We don't want to do that.
We want this little jag-off to be our new coach because he'll know the only reason anybody is giving him a coaching job is because we made them. So he will be our bitch, and he will not give us this whole defense nonsense you're doing.
I mean, 148 points, really. I mean,
is crazy.
There's no defense at all. There's nobody even under the basket or anything.
Yeah, those are like all-star games.
I was gonna say it wasn't even an all-star game.
That's a lot.
Like if you lose, I mean, first of all, if you score 124, you should never lose a game.
Right.
You sure as all hell shouldn't get blown out.
Makes sense.
Bethlehem Township, Ohio. A 38-year-old woman was arrested and charged with attempted murder after shooting a man in Bethlehem Township on Friday night.
Jesus, what's going on there?
Drink.
I know.
Angela Webb is in the Stark County Jail accused of shooting a 45-year-old man at a home in the 6100 block of Hudson Drive. I just won't keep reading that one because it's just going to be like, we don't know anything and there's nobody. We have no information.
Nobody could tell us.
Right. Nobody's going to tell us anything.
Nobody knows nothing.
We don't call anybody. We just heard about it secondhand. Akron, Ohio. A 55-year-old man shot in the head during an argument Tuesday morning.
You're to blame.
About a stolen gun has now died from his injuries.
Ouch.
Akron police say Ernest Sherman and a second 55-year-old man were shot by Hetty Moss around 5 a.m. Tuesday in the 300 block of Gold Street. Sherman died at the hospital. The second victim remains in serious condition. His name is not being released. Moss is now charged with murder, felonious assault, and tampering with evidence.
Was he shot with the gun they were arguing about? That would be kind of ironic.
How do you get charged with murder and not felonious
911, where's
assault?
your emergency?
Oops. And not felonious assault. Like, is there a way to murder somebody without assaulting them?
Well, he was charged with felonious assault.
No, he was, and murder. I'm saying, can you just be charged with murder?
No, because he shot the second dude. That was the assault.
There was a second dude.
Oh, I don't know.
I have no idea.
The second dude who's still in the hospital. That was the assault.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Like they're not gonna like if you kill somebody, they're not gonna charge you with murder, attempted murder, assault, and battery.
Assault murder.
I think they want to stack all those on. Yeah, assault. Yeah, attack or murder. You know?
Haircut or murder.
Right.
Oh, you bet you my hair on.
Euclid, Ohio. Drink.
Euclid murder.
44-year-old Euclid man has been accused of killing his wife. The Euclid Police Department said Lori Gonzalez was. We've had a lot of Mexicans this week for some reason. I don't know what's going on in their community. Was found dead on the 400 block of East 222nd Street in Euclid on January 16th. The bond for Carlos Gonzalez Manjarres was set at $1 million. Seems a little high. Do you actually expect him to post that? It seems a little extreme. Gonzalez.
That's what mine's going to be.
Jarist.
If you have $1 million, you are probably not living in Euclid.
Right. And
you're not living life right.
And just, it's like, well, we got to give him the ability to bail himself out, but we really don't want him to. Gonzalez Manjarres called 911 on Tuesday. I just killed my wife. Carlos Gonzalez told the dispatcher.
Kevin made the Gonzalez guys sound like fucking Bela Lugosi. I just killed my wife.
County medical examiner will determine the cause of death. We've been going through a lot lately. Carlos Gonzalez told the
I was having a problem with the pets.
Now granted, I've never tried myself I've been going through a lot lately, defense in court. So I'll be interested to hear how that plays out for him.
I just decided that prison would probably be better. Cleveland, Ohio. The Cleveland Police Department said a 25-year-old man was shot. Drink. Oh, no, this is what we did. You can still drink. And we did this. So that's it. That's it for the show. We are 1 hour in, so we'll be back next week with more. Maybe not as much news. It was just a very busy. It was a busy week in the shootings of Cleveland and weird drug addicts that are injecting themselves with plant food to cause their arms to rot off. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's just it's city life for you. We'll be back next week with more. VideoGameNews.com. Good night.
Peace.
Peace.